Peace and blessings to the family. This is your brother, Afrodescendant Ali, back with the Angel Network 1930. Sorry we haven't been around for a while. I've been working on transatlantic productions on YouTube. If you're not familiar with the work that I've been doing over there, please subscribe to Transatlantic Productions, the largest Pan African scholarly archive. We're also bringing interviews and short videos, as well as keeping a bulletin board of all things going on in the Pan African world, internationally, politically, on behalf of Afro descendants worldwide. So we're back here. We're going to be ramping up on the production and everything. So stay tuned. For now, what we're working on here is a report out of Los Angeles where the recruiting department, LAPD recruiting department, um, had been recorded, over 90 recordings of um, recruiting officers with the LAPD making derogatory and racist remarks. So let's take a look at the news reports and then go
and
into
derogatory comments about their colleagues.
let's take a let's take a look at some news reports and then go into an article about this so we can keep track of this. These are indications of ongoing human rights violations. While this may not fall in the scope of that, but this is definitely evidence that Black people are abused at the hands of people who generally don't like them, and that their rights are definitely at stake every time that there's engagement with police department. And LAPD seems to be a department that is constantly under scrutiny for racism, and I'm not sure why a wholesale change hasn't been made to date, but let's see what this is all about.
Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5:30. I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Sandra Mitchell. And tonight from Micah Ullman, those alleged racist remarks by LAPD officers all captured by a secret recording.
KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is live in our newsroom with the very latest. Rachel?
Cher, Sandy, the LA Times obtained a complaint filed by a current LAPD officer against the Los Angeles Police Department. He secretly recorded dozens of conversations for the better part of a year. And these recordings allegedly show officers and supervisors openly discriminating against potential police recruits and their fellow colleagues.
So we also want to bring to light that this is the recruiting department. So you have impacted areas. How many of these police officers are going into the Black areas of Los Angeles? And well, these police officers are recruiting. Are they recruiting officers that are of the same ilk and share the same mindset, and then letting these officers loose to do these same things that they are making remarks about to Black people? Are they using some type of prejudice when they are engaging Black people out there? That's something to be looked into.
Secret recordings reveal LAPD cops spewing racist, sexist, and homophobic comments, complaint alleges. That's the headline of an explosive LA Times article. Its reporters review a complaint filed on January 5th with the Los Angeles Police Department's Professional Standards Bureau and the Inspector General's office. The complaining officer is a Latino man with 10 years on the job. He details parts of roughly 90 secret recordings he made within the department's recruitment office between March and October of last year, and portrays officers and supervisors voicing open discrimination against potential recruits and colleagues based on race, sex, and sexual orientation. These same officers were tasked with deciding who could join the LAPD. The officer indicated that colleagues engaged in crude and prejudicial banter, and, quote, the supervisor is accused of letting his officers review the names of new background investigators for the unit, then allowing officers to veto them as they came up for hiring. The complaint alleges one lieutenant saw and overheard many of these conversations and was inactive. Instead, he's quoted as saying, "Man, we're going to end up in the LA Times the way you all talk in here. You all can bring down the whole department." The content of the complaint was shared with Mayor Karen Bass last month, but the actual transcription of the tapes hasn't been reported until now. In a statement to KTLA, Mayor Bass called the conduct outrageous and unacceptable. She says the chief and I are on the same page about the urgent need to fix the recruiting and hiring process and make sure that officers stuck in the past don't tarnish the badge for everyone else. And here is Chief Jim McDonnell.
We don't tolerate that type of behavior in the workplace. Especially critical now in light of our recruitment efforts, and to have a trusted unit like this alleged to have done these kind of activities, we take it very, very seriously.
The Los Angeles Police Protective League sent us a statement today, quote, after a thorough, fair, and transparent investigation of this alleged misconduct, any officer found to have broken the public trust must be held accountable. Chief Jim McDonnell said today that everyone named in this complaint has now been removed from police duty. Live in the news.
So there you have one of the reports. Let's check what the newspapers are saying out there in Los Angeles about this, just so we can get some more conclusive information. Let's check this out. So, according to the Vanguard News Group, LAPD officers investigated over alleged racist derogatory comments. Again, this is the legendary Los Angeles Police Department. We saw a report a few years back on the Breakfast Club. The sister was talking about how there are actual police gangs. I have a TikTok page, and that's one of the videos that performed very well because it was a very shocking video. And I forget the name of the sister that was doing that. So according to the Vanguard News Group, Los Angeles, California, the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, has placed a group of officers assigned to its recruitment office on administrative leave, stripping them of their police powers pending an investigation into audio recordings containing alleged racist and derogatory remarks. LAPD Police Chief Jim McDonnell announced Tuesday, we're in the process of backfilling all of those individuals so we can keep the job going of recruitment and bringing people on board. McDonnell said, adding, but it's certainly a major setback for all of us, and we're just disgusted with what we heard. The investigation will go on and appropriate action will be taken, according to the Los Angeles Times. According to the report by the Los Angeles Times published Monday, a complaint filed January 5th, so this was 2 months ago, with the LAPD's Professional Standards Bureau contains approximately 90 recordings over more than a year, allegedly capturing offensive remarks targeting Black applicants as well as female, lesbian, and gay colleagues. The officers under investigation include Lieutenant Louis Lavender, Sergeant Denny Jong, Officer Shirley Burgos, and an officer identified only as McKay, wrote the Los Angeles Times, adding Burgos was allegedly heard advising others on how to fight Black individuals, stating, you hit Black people in the liver, I heard they got weak livers, referring to a Latina and referring to a Latina janitor using a racial slur. Additionally, the LA Times story notes how officers were recorded making stereotypic statements about Black individuals, such as Black people enjoy grape soda and Black people enjoy watermelon between basketball. Right? So, Jong, who remember Jong is one of the officers, was accused of leading the offensive exchanges, said the Times, allegedly making a derogatory comment regarding the death of former Dodgers pitcher Fernando Valenzuela, stating, I know why he died. He ate too much tacos, end quote. Lavender was accused of failing to intervene and allegedly acknowledging at one point, quote, man, we are going to end up in the LA Times the way you all talk here. You all can bring down the whole department, end quote, reported the LA Times. The Los Angeles Times quoted Police Commissioner Teresan Sanchez Gordon, stating this kind of behavior is completely unacceptable and erodes public trust in our department. It's disheartening that these comments are coming from individuals of diverse backgrounds, including Black officers, women, Latinos, and Asians. I hope this investigation will have an impact and send a clear message that the LAPD will not tolerate such a toxic environment. In a statement released Monday, according to the LA Times, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, the union representing rank and file officers, strongly condemned the reported comments, noting, "We are appalled by the reports of officers speaking in this manner about potential recruits, co-workers, and supervisors. The language is beyond unacceptable." End quote. The union said the Times questioned why Deputy Chief Mark Reyna, who oversees the recruitment department, had not been placed on leave, asking, "We question why Reyna has not been relieved of duty for what appears to be his complete lack of oversight of this unit." And that ends the article. So it looks like while the people that were recorded were actually placed on leave, their superior, the deputy chief, has not been placed on leave. And I guess that's the next question, right? Like, will pressure be put on the mayor and the police chief to ensure that the person who was responsible for overseeing that unit actually gets his just due? So, with that said, we won't stay on here long. We'll just add a little more context with an extra news report coming out of KTLA. And let's see, LAPD racism scandal, and let's see what they have to say.
Remarks secretly recorded. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in our newsroom with the details. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hey, Frank, good morning to you. Yeah, all of this according to an explosive LA Times investigation reporting a Los Angeles police officer working in the department's recruitment office recorded dozens and dozens of conversations for the better part of a year. These recordings revealing cops spewing racist, sexist, and homophobic comments. Now, all of this according to a complaint filed with the LAPD and reviewed by the LA Times, detailing roughly 90 recordings made inside the recruiting division, portraying officers and supervisors voicing open discrimination against potential recruits and colleagues based on race, sex, and sexual orientation. These are the same officers tasked with deciding who can join the LAPD. Now, in one conversation, take a look at this. A Latina LAPD officer offered this advice on how to fight African Americans, saying, quote, "You hit Black people in the liver. I heard they got weak livers."
So that was Officer Burgos, if you recall from the article.
According to the complaint filed January 5th with the LAPD's Professional Standards Bureau and the Inspector General's office. The same officer allegedly describing a Latina janitor to her colleagues as, quote, wetback. But the complaint is accusing a sergeant.
I think that other one came from Officer Burgos, according to the article. So it's like Latino on Latina crime or something, however you would describe that.
Sergeant Denny Jong of leading the prejudicial banter in one conversation with subordinates about Dodger baseball legend Fernando Valenzuela's death from septic shock, saying, quote, "I know why he died. He ate too many tacos." The complaint also claiming officers reportedly referred to Black people as monkeys. The complaining officer, a Latino with 10 years on the job, initially made his written accusations anonymously, but now is handing over dozens of hours of recordings that took place between March and October of last year. When news of this complaint broke, Chief Jim McDonnell at the LAPD removed a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 4 officers from the unit, saying he was deeply disappointed by these reports. Now, a scandal in the LAPD's recruiting office couldn't come at a worse time. The LAPD is struggling to recruit new officers, with more than 100 cops expected to leave the force by next year, dropping the department to the lowest amount of officers it's seen in roughly 30 years.
So a lieutenant the sergeant and 4 officers. That's 6 officers. I wonder how many total officers were in this recruitment department. Lieutenant and sergeant are certainly high up in the pecking order, but it seems that maybe unless there's a captain, the deputy chief has been unscathed in this. So we'll keep an eye on this if more news comes about it or if it just blows away in the wind without any actions being taken. But we just want to capture this for the record to make sure that we're tracking things like this in the United States as it relates to Afro descendants because things are getting worse, and we definitely want to stay on top of this. And with that said, 100 police officers, it sounds like there's a lot of retirement, a lot of boomers leaving the workforce. So they're making sure that they get the recruitment up, and it doesn't sound like they're going to get what they want. Maybe they have to go to other cities to replace those officers in some form or fashion. But again, we will keep track of this. And again, sorry about not having produced many things lately. We are also doing things on transatlantic productions to keep abreast of what we're doing all across the internet via our community tab. And you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And with that said, this is Afrodescendant Ali. Support the Cash App there. Your donations are definitely appreciated. And with that said, see you on the next video. Peace out.